if your emotions are telling you like, hey, like slow down, or don't do that, you're gonna get really upset, or someone's gonna upset you, or someone's gonna push you around, or someone's gonna be, emotionally abuse you. Like, most people will retreat. And you've got a bit of a formula that I love. So if you don't mind taking us through it. So you say that, number one, you ask, is it true? Number two, how then does it make you feel? And then number three, live life like as if you believe the thought was real.
I think, so the reason I like this framework is because I think that there's a lot of, and this is just my opinion, this is what has worked for me. I tend to like overanalyze, overthink, get caught up in my head. And so for me, I tend to place more importance on my thoughts and feelings than I think was healthy. And so for me, what it was is that I was basically treating certain thoughts and feelings like they were overly important. And because of that, I was getting really caught up in them and caught up in these stories that my brain was creating that weren't true. And so for me, whenever I feel really emotional about something, and it's usually fear, right? Fear of something, anticipation of something that could happen. That's usually where I go. I ask myself, well, is this true? How do you know it's true? And what that follows is basically, do you have any evidence for this thought, right? And then I ask myself, okay, well, is there evidence for the opposite of that? Is there evidence that it's not true? And I'll write it down on a list. And I literally do this when I'm really trying to work through something. And then I keep that list of all the reasons that thought is not true, or that thing that I'm fearful of is not true. And what I'm trying to do is, like, our brain, when it's scared, and I'm not like some of the people that's been on your show. This is just what I have found. I feel like when my brain is freaking out, it tries to find all these things that could be a threat, right? It looks at things that wouldn't be a threat and it finds them as threats. This is the reason why you shouldn't speak on stage. You see right here. And it's like, and it's like turning everything into something as a reason why I shouldn't do this thing. And so I try to ground myself in, like, I create this list and I'm like, here's all the reasons why your brain is wrong. And I read the list over and over and over again to convince myself to stick with whatever it is, right? When I get really scared. And I think that then asking myself the follow-up question of what would someone who's not scared do? That reminds me that if I take action like somebody who is not fearful, eventually the fear will fade.